My videos used to absolutely suck, and it wasn't because of bad lighting or poor editing or weak storytelling. It wasn't bad gear either, or using low-end software, or even the presence or absence of music. When it improved, the real transformation came from something else entirely. It's the visual magic that you are seeing right now. That's a B-roll, and you can create it beautifully in PowerPoint. In this video, I'm going to show you how I used PowerPoint to turn basic videos into eye-catching content that keeps people watching. And if you want to get your hands on the actual B-roll from this video, I'll tell you how you can do that too. So what exactly is a PowerPoint B-roll, and why should you care? A PowerPoint B-roll is nothing fancy. It's just the extra visuals that you see alongside the main video. But here's the thing, that extra stuff is not extra. It's the glue that holds your story together. It boosts engagement, it increases viewer retention, and it gives your videos that polished, professional finished. And the best part, you can do it all on your own, using nothing but PowerPoint. So why does a B-roll actually work? Why do these extra visuals, especially ones built in PowerPoint, grab attention, boost learning, and make your videos feel like they came out of a studio? The brain science. Here's the brain science in 90 seconds. First, speed. Our brains are hardwired to process images way faster than speech. Spoken words unfold one at a time, but images, boom, and you have 1,000 words. But it's not just about speed, it's about cognitive load. When you speak too many words without visuals, your viewer's brain gets overwhelmed. That's where B-roll steps in. It's like giving the brain a second lane, the visual lane to travel in. One lane for hearing and one lane for seeing. Next, there's something called Myers's multimedia learning theory, and it's tailor-made for video. He found that when you speak a concept and show a related visual at the same time, people understand it faster and remember it longer. It's called the modality principle. Why does it work? Because your brain handles spoken words through one channel and visuals through another. That means less overload and more understanding. It's the same reason a good explainer video doesn't just talk, it shows. That's exactly what PowerPoint B-roll lets you do. Show while you speak in perfect sync. And here's something we don't often admit. We judge books by their covers. Even if you're not aware of it, polished visuals send a signal. This is professional. This is trustworthy. You don't have to be a professional graphic artist. I'm not one. I'm just a guy teaching people how to teach stuff with technology. And all these graphics were done in PowerPoint. Hopefully, it tells my audience I know more or less what I'm doing. And in a crowded digital world, that matters more than ever. The process. So why PowerPoint? Because you already know it. And what most people don't realize is that PowerPoint can create high-quality B-roll without any expensive software or fancy tools. To cut to the chase, if you can build a slide, animate it, and time your transitions, PowerPoint lets you export the whole thing as an MP4 video file. And that's exactly what you're watching right now. Before I walk you through how to build something like this from scratch, just a quick note. I've created a PowerPoint animation course for educators on Udemy, packed with examples like this one and many others. In fact, you'll find this exact B-roll in PowerPoint in the course that you can analyze and rework for your own purposes. You'll find a link and a discount coupon in the description below. There are several free preview lessons and you can watch before making a decision. And if you decide to enroll, Udemy's 30-day money-back guarantee means there's absolutely no risk. Alright, ready to build your first B-roll? Let's get started. Setting things up. Here's what I use to create a video, and more importantly, an effective B-roll with just a few simple tools. PowerPoint, set to a 16:19 aspect ratio, and Clipchamp, Microsoft's free video editing tool, which also defaults to 16:19. If Clipchamp is new to you, don't worry. I've made a separate video that walks you through the basics. You'll find it linked here. Next, make sure you know how to activate the green screen effect. My green screen, it's a simple sheet of green fabric. I picked it up at my local haberdashery. They politely declined to sponsor this video. It's their loss. And finally, my precision engineered camera rig. A Pringles can with a selfie stick wedged in the middle. That's how I hold my phone right in front of my screen so I can read the very words you are hearing now. Once I've written my script, I start planning the visuals. I simply add a second column alongside the text where I jot down ideas for what I want on screen. I usually break the script into 20 to 30 short sections. Each one will become a slide in PowerPoint. Here's something important. The background I choose in PowerPoint will become the actual background behind me when the final video is produced. So I make sure that everything I want viewers to see, my script, text boxes, icons and images, are all in place in the final PowerPoint file. At this point, I go ahead and I build out all the animations I plan to use in the B-roll. But, and that is key, I don't worry about timing just yet. That part comes later. I'll fix the timing when I edit the PowerPoint B-roll as part of the second last step in my production process. Recording and editing the video. Recording the talking head part of your video along with the PowerPoint B-roll is actually quite straightforward. But there are 5 sneaky tripfalls along the way. They are easy to miss and even easier to fall into, especially the first time that you're doing this. So at the end of this section, I'll give you a quick recap of the most common traps and how to steer clear of them. I set my phone up in front of my screen and simply read the script I've written. Now, professional YouTubers would tell you to speak naturally. Just talk to the camera as if you're having a conversation with a real person. And that's very good advice. But I found that my scripts often include quite a bit of detail and it needs to be delivered in the right order. So yes, I read. But I read as if I'm explaining it to the Pringles guy himself. I do a couple of dry runs to reduce mistakes. And when recording, anything I slip on, I just edit out. You can use any video editor for that. Clipchamp is great, but I actually use something a bit old school before I go to Clipchamp. Windows Movie Maker. Why? Because it lets me see the soundtrack waveform of the raw video, and that makes it easier to find and cut out any mistakes. Depending on the quality of your phone's microphone, you might want to clean up the audio. Get rid of background noise or any other unwanted sounds. I use Audacity for that. There's a separate video that walks you through the process. Once I've cleaned the audio, I save it and edit the improved soundtrack back into my talking head video. In my case, I use Windows Movie Maker again. Then I do something a little different. I keep the cleaned audio in Audacity and export short sound clips, one for each slide in my PowerPoint B-roll. Now, I'm not doing that to add a soundtrack to the B-roll. I do that because I want the length of the sound clip to control how long that slide will stay visible in the final MP4 export. In Audacity, when I export the sound clips, I name each MP3 file after the slide it belongs to. Simply 1, 2, 3, etc. It keeps things simple. Then in PowerPoint, I use a fast little keyboard sequence, Alt-N-O-P. That shortcut opens the audio insert dialog box, and once the MP3 file is inserted, I drag its animation to the top of the animation pane and set it to start with previous. That way the audio starts as soon as the slide appears. I also set the slide transition to happen after 10 seconds, just as a buffer, because the slide won't actually advance until the sound has finished playing. Now that each slide has a sound clip, I fine-tune the timing of each animation to match the narration in the audio. I listen to the audio and make a note of the second that the animation should appear on a printout of my script, and then bang, it's done. Run your slide presentation from beginning to end. If everything lines up, sound, timing, animations, you're ready for the final step, exporting the whole thing as an MP4 file. So, as promised, here are 5 common pitfalls that can trip you up when building your PowerPoint B-roll. If you know about them in advance, they're easy to avoid. Pitfall number 1, too many animations on one slide. It's tempting to load up a single slide with all your animations. But when it comes to timing, less is more. It's far easier to sync audio and visuals cleanly when you use more slides with fewer animations per slide. Think of each slide as a beat in your rhythm. Just like music, clarity comes from well-spaced notes, not everything playing at once. A practical rule of thumb: structure your script into short, balanced paragraphs, roughly 1 paragraph per slide. Then plan for just 1 to 3 animations per slide. This approach not only improves timing and clarity, it makes your final B-roll smoother and easier to edit. Pitfall number 2. Lengthy slide transitions can derail timing. Fancy slide transitions, especially ones like morph, might look impressive, but they introduce a delay. If your transition takes 3 seconds, your audio and animations will start 3 seconds late. Keep the transitions short, or better yet, avoid them when synchronizing to sound. Here's a trick. When exporting to MP4, you can hide slides to create separate sections. That way you can split complex sequences across multiple exports and stitch them together in your final video editor. Pitfall 3, misconfigured audio playback settings. Always set your audio clips to start automatically. Leave other playback options blank, gives you the most reliable results. I've experimented with play across slides and it can work, but then your slide transition timing must be adjusted with surgical precision to keep your animations and narration in sync. Pitfall number 4, avoid start after previous for animations. That one's a silent saboteur. If you set animations to start after previous, they'll wait for the entire audio clip to finish before they even begin. That will throw off your whole sequence. Instead, use start with previous for tight real-time animation syncing. Start after previous can be used safely with exit effects or to stop media from playing. Pitfall number 5, videos inside slides require extra care. I often like to include short screen recordings in my B-roll, especially when showing software steps. But here's the catch: if you let the video play freely and it's longer than your narration, the slide will hang after the audio ends. To avoid this, I trim the video to make sure it's shorter than the audio clip. Each of these pitfalls is easy to step into if you're rushing or experimenting for the first time. But with a little foresight and practice, you learn to dance around them with ease. Final editing in Clipchamp, 5 practical steps. Step 1, be patient. It's online. Clipchamp is a browser-based tool, so a stable internet connection is essential. Expect some buffering and lag, especially during a preview. It's frustrating, yes, but not a deal breaker. Step 2, name your project early and turn on backup. Choose a well-optimized, SEO-friendly video title early in the process. Then activate content backup right away. If you wait too long, Clipchamp will need time to sync everything, which can slow you down later. Step 3, prepare a backup background slide. When importing your media, include a JPEG image of one of your blank PowerPoint slides. Why? Sometimes trimming the B-roll creates little gaps in your video, and that background JPEG can be used to fill them seamlessly. Step 4, align the tracks and apply the green screen effect. Position your talking head video directly above the B-roll in the timeline. Set them to start at exactly the same time. Then turn B-roll audio off. You've already handled the narration in Audacity and in your talking head video. Now apply the green screen effect to the talking head layer so your face appears over the animated visuals behind you. Step 5. Cut and transition smartly. As you preview the full timeline, make cut points in your talking head video whenever the B-roll switches sides, left to right or right to left. Reposition your face accordingly to avoid overlap or distraction. Use simple transitions between these cuts. Early scenes benefit from more frequent transitions. They keep things fresh and dynamic. Later in the video, transitions can slow down a bit as the viewer settles into your rhythm. And that's it. With a little planning and some rhythm between your visuals and voice, your PowerPoint B-roll becomes the foundation of a clean, professional-looking video. If you found this video useful, you love what's waiting on my Moodle site. I've created a set of free mini courses where I walk you through building different types of PowerPoint animations step by step. They're completely free to access and you can register in seconds. Just follow the link in the description below. Now, if you're wondering whether B-roll is really worth the effort, let me back that up with a few data points. In one retention study, adding dynamic B-roll increased viewer attention by around 23% compared to plain talking head footage. If you study YouTube watch time graphs, you'll often notice microspikes. Those bumps usually appear right after a visual change or a fresh B-roll insert. That's no coincidence. People linger longer when something catches their eye. According to multimedia learning research, viewers retain up to 95% of a message when it's delivered with both voice and visuals, compared to just 10% from reading text alone. And in a study on interactive video lectures, adding simple visual or interactive elements boost completion rates from 60% to over 80%, even in videos running longer than 13 minutes. If you're curious about how to add interactivity to your videos using tools like H5P, check the description below for a coupon to my Udemy course, Building H5P Interactivities. There's free content, practical tools, and research-backed strategies. Whether you're just getting started or leveling up your video game, this is a resource built with educators